Have you ever clicked on a video that felt off? Maybe it was recommended to you late at night. Maybe the thumbnail looked strange enough that you just had to know what it was. So you watch it, then scroll through the comments, then click on a link someone posted. And before you realize it, you're an hour deep into some bizarre corner of the internet trying to figure out what you just found. And the deeper you go, the stranger things become. Because some internet rabbit holes don't just lead to weird videos or unsettling websites. Sometimes they lead to things that are genuinely horrifying. From a Ring camera capturing a little girl begging for help in the middle of the night, to a live stream where viewers become convinced a woman is being held hostage, to a website exposing thousands of unsecured security cameras to complete strangers around the world. Today, we're diving into the internet's darkest rabbit holes. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. And let's get into it. Terrifying Ring camera footage. It's November 28th, 2019. A resident of Harriet Creek Ranch, Texas, has just woken up from a deep sleep and is groggily starting their day. They're going about their normal routine: coffee, shower, breakfast, then checking notifications on their phone. Scrolling through emails, texts, missed calls. It's all things they're used to waking up to. Which is why one alert from their Ring camera app stands out to them. It says, "There is motion at your front door. Tap and hold the notification to see more." This was from the middle of the night, a time where no packages would have been delivered, no friends popping by, all neighbors had to have been asleep. They think it must have been an animal walking across the porch, or some reasonable explanation like that. But they're still curious, so they open the app to play back whatever occurred outside their door while they were sleeping. Nothing could have prepared them for what had actually happened. This was the video they saw when they opened their app.
Help, please. Please help.
It's truly gut-wrenching. Her cries are desperate. The pain in her voice is not only heartbreaking, but terrifying. I can only imagine what the owner of the Ring camera felt. Waking up to see this, realizing someone was at their door while they were in bed, someone who needed help. They immediately notified the police. Of course, that was all they could do. Turn it over to the professionals who could hopefully figure out who this girl was and save her from whatever she was running from. Give her the protection that she needs. That would be a picture-perfect ending. But with footage like that, which feels like it's straight out of a horror movie, things aren't going to be wrapped up with a neat little bow. The cops never really do figure out who this girl is, or if they do, they don't tell us. The only lead that I could see is people connecting her to a missing child case in South Dakota, a girl named Serenity Denard. Serenity had endured a difficult childhood for 9 years, suffering trauma at the hands of her biological parents until she was eventually placed in foster care and then adopted into the hands of Chad and Cassandra Denard. Here, life may have been better, but Serenity was followed by the memories of her earlier years and lashed out as a result of it. She was a very outgoing, bright, and charismatic kid. She would light up rooms and was loved by everyone around her. But her parents still faced difficulties. She would often run away and threaten that she would not come back. It was chaotic, stressful, and unsure of how to handle this behavior, Serenity was sent to Black Hills Children's Home, a treatment center for kids with behavioral issues. There's not a lot of information on her time there, but I'm going to guess things weren't fantastic because on February 3rd, 2019, Serenity ran from the group home. This was at 10:45 a.m. At 11 a.m., someone entering the facility saw her alongside the road, unaware that this was her and she was escaping. They didn't stop. And that was the last time she was ever seen. Or was it? There are many theories about Serenity's disappearance. One of those being that she is the very girl begging for help on November 28th in Harriet Creek Ranch, captured on the Ring video. There is a resemblance between the two, and of course Serenity would be in a position where she needed help. But there are still some details that make it seem unlikely. The conclusion that police came up with for Serenity is that she got lost in the woods and eventually passed away from hypothermia. When she had run away, the temperature was below zero and she was not wearing a coat. Could Serenity have survived these conditions for very long? Well, the only way that she could have is if she ended up somewhere where she was brought inside, or with someone that brought her inside, which would also be the only way she could make it from South Dakota all the way to Texas. Otherwise, it seems nearly impossible that a 9-year-old girl could make it that far on her own. But it feels more probable that if that is what happened, whoever she ended up with probably didn't have good intentions. If they did, they would have returned her to her family, who was sick with worry. And whatever those intentions were, are what Serenity is running from in that video. But this is all speculation, because all public information on the video and on Serenity's story is severely limited. Law enforcement never really came up with an answer for either, leaving Serenity and maybe this other mystery girl helpless, lost, still in danger. Although some viewers don't actually believe danger was present in the footage, rather, it was a setup. Some people think that home invaders sent a little girl to the door, crying and pleading so that the homeowner will open up. And when they do, the robbers rush in to rob the house. It's really not a crazy theory. That does unfortunately happen often and is something people have to be aware of when coming across a child who needs help. It's infuriating that we may have to second guess our instinct to help, to debate whether a distressed kid is actually in danger or not. But we'll never know what actually happened to this little girl. Whether she was Serenity Denard, another missing child who is on the run, or the daughter of a criminal who was using her to break into someone's home, none of those options feel reassuring. Either way, the victim is always the child, and this one was never identified by law enforcement, leaving us all to wonder where she ran off to at the end of the video, and hoping she's okay. Instacam. Every second of every day, there is someone on their knees talking to whatever higher power they believe in. God, Buddha, Zeus, Allah, whatever it is, someone is praying to it right now. Maybe they're whispering to themselves or alongside a friend, a community even. Either way, it's intimate, personal, sacred. But now imagine that moment from a bird's eye view. Someone deep in a conversation with God. They're vulnerable. They're needing help, guidance, and faith. Imagine that person is you, and you're being watched. Not from a stalker or a creepy person lurking somewhere nearby, but from a camera. It's perched in a corner, somewhere you didn't think to look. Or maybe you did, but you thought nothing of it. It's only for security, you thought. It's there for protection. To watch my back in case something happens. But what if someone is using it for more than that? What if someone is watching, observing quietly, keeping tabs on you? What if actually that seemingly innocent camera gives access to anyone who wants it? Just a simple click onto the website Instacam, and your private moment is gone. It's turned to something else entirely. A movie people don't even have to pay for to watch. This is an example of only one scene from the Instacam website. It comes from a live camera in Louisville, Kentucky. Or if you wanted to get more specification, the website tells you everything about it. Watching it myself feels creepy. It feels invasive. It feels wrong. Like I said, the camera is live, so it changes, but I've checked back on it a couple of times and either there's no one there or it's a different person. Each time someone new is at the altar. They're often there for a while, taking their time with prayer, and all the while, I am, or some other random person, is silently watching them from across the country. It feels gross. I can only watch for so long before exiting the page and finding something normal to watch. Something that doesn't feel illegal. But while it may feel that way, Instacam is perfectly legal. On the FAQ section, there's the question of this being a product of hackers. Instacam says, these cameras are not hacked. All cameras listed on the site do not have any password protection. They also clarify that anyone who wants their camera removed can do so, but with some stipulations. If you want to leave your surveillance camera public accessible but want to remove it from this site, send the URL of your camera to email from contact section, but remember that your camera still will be available to all internet users that use surveillance camera search software in sites like another website. The only solution to make your camera private is to set up a password. And that's where the loophole of all this comes in. They aren't breaking any rules. Everything on the website is from public cameras. So a lot of that does mean cameras that record and monitor things that are public activity, like for security purposes inside of a business or office, or to watch traffic at a busy intersection. There's many of these floating around, but dispersed in between these usually boring live streams, there's one or two that don't feel so public. Some are right outside someone's home, watching their driveway, like this one. It seems to be on a property that's otherwise very isolated. Whoever lives here wants their life to feel undisturbed, quiet, private. They moved into this house for all of those reasons. The only one thing they forgot, though, is to set a password on their security camera. Maybe they're old, or they didn't fully read the instructions, or they just didn't understand the point of setting a password. They didn't realize something like Instacam even existed. Now their peaceful driveway, yard, or life has been corrupted by a broadcast that anyone has access to. But it goes beyond just the outside. There are some instances of camera feeds located inside the homes, or, as one Reddit user notices, pointing inside homes. One Reddit user posts, I found a stream of a camera that's being used to peep into people's windows. I found this stream on Instacam. The camera is being actively monitored and controlled, with someone deliberately finding lit up windows and zooming in to spy on people inside of a large apartment complex. They are particularly focused on one window that seems to be the bedroom of a younger woman. I tracked the stream to a latitude and longitude outside of Pennsylvania, United States. I'm not going to say the city. Right outside of the airport. But after watching the stream for a bit and seeing it zoom out, I noticed it quickly pan over to a newly opened White Castle next door to a Star Care pharmacy directly in front of the building that's being peeped on. After doing some digging on Google Maps, I discovered that this apartment complex is located in Jamaica, New York, and the person peeping on people is almost certainly located in the apartments across the way. I was thinking about seeing if I could find a neighborhood group for the apartment complex to let people know, even if that sounds kind of extra. Is there anything else that can be done? While it is sort of relieving that Instacam can serve a useful purpose of noticing such a horrific thing as this, it is still so horrifying that this is on the internet to begin with. Not only are there people with their own cameras who are unaware that they are being watched, but also people who don't know that this camera even exists to begin with. For this one in particular, no one really comes up with an exact answer on who's behind it or how to stop it. One commenter links what they think is the stream that OP is referring to, which I'll mention is now unavailable. Thank God. Hopefully that means it was taken down. But under that comment is someone that pretty much sums up how terrifying it really is. They say, if this is the one OP is talking about, and it does seem likely, then the person controlling it literally could be anyone. If you click the stream directly, it takes you to the camera's direct link and includes live controls for anyone to use. So honestly, it seems like Instacam points to a much larger issue outside of its already creepy nature. It's a host to thousands of unsecure cameras, protected by nothing. These views into our everyday lives are available to whoever wants it. It may even be considered lucky to see ourselves on Instacam, so that way we're aware we're being watched. But it's a huge site. There's over 2,000 live feeds on there at one point, and even with the ability to search by location, it feels impossible to scour through everything. And it updates every day. Every day, there's a new shot of someone else's life. Small details that feel so vulnerable. Moments that we hold close to our chest. Things we wouldn't dare share with even our closest friends. All out in the open, on full display, public for anyone's viewing pleasure. It's disturbing and feels distressing to even think about. But because all of it remains legal, not much is going to change anytime soon. So, at the very least, if you have a camera inside or outside your house, now is probably a good time to make sure it has a password. Yvette's bridal. One of the most stressful parts of getting married is finding the perfect dress. It's something brides will spend weeks and lots of money on in order to find a perfect match. The process is long, tedious, exhausting, but of course, still exciting. And for newly engaged couples in Panama City, Florida, the journey for the right dress may take a quick detour if they come across one specific bridal shop that stands out from all the rest, like a sore thumb. It's impossible to miss when in eyesight. Mixed in with all of the cute and fancy shops, this one is different. It's out there, and it's hard to tell if it's a good or bad thing. Welcome to Yvette's Bridal. They are open until 6 p.m. and more importantly, they are here to serve you, as their website makes very clear. Well, as clear as it can make it. Because any sane person's reaction to their website is immediate sensory overload. It's like looking at a child's 20 different art projects all mixed into one big presentation for the whole school to see. While confusing and jarring, most of the first page is relatively normal, or at the very least, related to weddings, dresses, and things like that. It states details like, Yvette's has many prom gowns to choose from and lots of shoes. Come see us. Tuxedo rentals starting at $65. Yvette's has plus sizes. Click here. But mixed in with all of that are other sections that either seem random, cryptic or straight up creepy, many of them are also a link. The first page alone has 15 to 20 links that lead to other pages where things really start to spiral into absurdity. The first one that really sticks out to me is the one that says psychological thriller. Please click here. Immediately, I am greeted by a drawing underneath the heading that says Gothic Horror, which couldn't be a better fitting title for this picture. It's a sketch, seemingly done in pencil, of a character with crazy hair, whose mouth is wide open as if they are screaming. They look terrified, insane, like a demon is coming after them. It's definitely not the creepiest thing I've ever seen, but in the context that I'm on a bridal shower website, it is pretty off-putting. But that picture is just the beginning. This section of the website looks to be a pitch or summary or advertising of some sort of a book called The Flaming Page. But before it gets to the details of that, the creator behind all of this has a couple mysterious paragraphs that ramble on to a point I'm not sure anyone can make sense of, but there's themes of space, aliens, and something called V8. The author writes, Salem witch trials. All they would tell us is that certain classified documents in the possession of a well-known psychiatric institution, which we will not name here, indicate that the site in question is part of a sociological experiment aimed at probing the truth about human nature, the truth about what is being done to humans on planet Earth, and the truth about government and corporate involvement therein. I write in agony, my sorrows fall like tears upon the page. V8 is everywhere. They are here. They move among us. The person you are sitting next to at this very moment could be one of them in disguise. Trust no one, V8. Over the coming days, weeks, months, years, decades, centuries, millennia, and beyond, there shall be vast additions to what you uncover, discover, plunder, infiltrate, and expose here. So stay tuned to Yvette's for the continuing upload, publication, and propagation of Yvette's radical real-time explorations of reality and beyond. V8. I don't know about other viewers who have browsed Yvette's Bridal, but that makes zero sense to me. And then to consider that this is all apparently from the owner of a bridal store, the whole thing feels even more unsettling. It looks and feels like a fever dream, one that I'd like to wake up out of, but it only continues into more madness. The first link underneath all of that is titled Alien Abduction, Please Click Here. And it leads into what looks like the first page of the previously mentioned Flaming Page. They give a brief description of the book. It's about someone named Bart Fitzgerald Chamberlain, who claims to have been abducted by aliens, but is believed by no one other than his 17-year-old neighbor. It feels like classic sci-fi, and not that crazy of a story for a book, but again, I thought I was on a bridal store website, which is something I am reminded of, even when I'm scrolling through all of this. Each page has some mention of Yvette in the shop. Things like this are scattered all over. Yvette has a passion for fashion. Yvette cares about you. Yvette wants you to be happy. Yvette treasures the opportunity to serve you. But just behind it will be a drawing of an alien, an eccentric portrait of someone in a wedding dress, or some other piece of creepy artwork. The contrast between everything is disturbing. It raises the question of whether or not Yvette is really behind this. And if she is, how does she own a store? And is she actually running a business? Searching up Yvette's Bridal Shop, Panama City, brings up a Yelp page, which does seem legit. There's photos that look similar to the ones on the website, and the site itself is even connected to it. There's even one review. Absolutely amazing. I've gotten so many dresses from here and would absolutely recommend to anyone at all looking for dresses to go here. Other images come up on the search of people trying on dresses inside the store, and everything seems very real. There's no information about the owner, however. No inside details from residents of the town or neighboring businesses. While the store does look like it does exist and has customers, the website still remains a mystery. There are multiple posts made about it on Reddit though. Most are on web design subreddits, and their aim is to make fun of how poorly the site is made, which is true, but that's not my main concern. It could be made well, but all the talk on alien abduction, the rambling in gibberish, and the artwork are what is the most alarming and confusing about it. But scrolling through some of the posts and comments, there seem to be a couple different explanations that people have come up with. One of these is underneath a post titled Yvette's Bridal Formal, a website so badly designed your retinas will attempt to detach themselves in horror. User Alleged Legacy comments, it's actually not a joke. 4chan board X discovered Yvette's a while ago, and they are 100% serious alien conspiracy theorists. A couple of guys from X actually drove out there and talked with them and took some pictures in front of the place. The Yvette's site blogged about it later, but I'd be damned if I can find anything on that site. Apparently, they told them that they were from an online magazine looking to investigate the link between the US government and aliens, and the Yvette's people talked with them, warily, for a good length of time. And for everyone watching, if you'd like me to go out and drive up to Yvette's Bridal Formal in real life, I will do it if this video reaches 41,000 likes. 40,000 likes, that works. And I'll go out and interview Yvette's Bridal Formal or whoever owns it. I think that'd be very interesting for a video, but everyone watching, you heard the like goal, so yeah, please like if you'd like to see that in the future. But anyways, let's continue. Now, this user didn't want to comb through Yvette's site, and neither do I. But luckily, other users did, and they found the specific posts about this interaction between the owners and the 4chan users. And the post reads, January 7th, 2009. A very unusual and exciting event occurred at Yvette's today. Two guys who claimed to be from UFO magazine stepped through the door around 4:30 p.m. They didn't leave me with their card or show me any credentials, so maybe they weren't who they said they were. Maybe they were space aliens disguised as investigative reporters. This information points to the thought that maybe all that alien talk wasn't just related to a book or a fictional story, but is real to whoever is behind this. But things aren't as simple as that, if you can even call that simple. Because while one end of the internet is coming up with this conclusion, which are from posts made 17 years ago in 2010, there are more recent theories which could go in a completely different direction. One of those is connected to a name that pops up often on the website, along with pictures that are presumably connected. This is Sean Terrence Best. You'll see this name in multiple places on the website, but alongside it is usually something about him being a world-famous artist. One link is titled, Personal Thoughts of World-Famous Artist Sean Terrence Best. Upon entering that page is a huge, jumbled, and long-winded paragraph that does read sort of like a diary entry. Here is a small excerpt. I need you in my life, world. I need you to help me achieve the full potential of my gift. It is our gift, yours and mine. Help me, world. Please help me. Be dreamers with me. Need the energy which you share with me through your dreams. I need you. I want you by my side. I want you with me, world. I want you to travel with me and help me draw and sketch and photograph and paint and read and write and learn and grow and create and accomplish. Help me, world. Please help me to continue to achieve success. Please help me draw and paint for you. So far, everything connected to Sean seems wholesome. There's nothing very off about him. He just seems unique. Like he has a different personality than most people and is comfortably expressing that part of himself. Well, his name is not coincidentally just placed intermittently on the site. It turns out that he may be connected to the creation of this website, which would honestly be a relieving turn of events. Some people say that he is related to the owners of Yvette's and they just let him do his thing with the website. While it's also been said that he was a local artist who was just commissioned to make the business a website, and he decided to turn it into more of an art project. The latter comes from another YouTuber, Atrocity Guide, who made a video on this rabbit hole, and they actually emailed with Sean himself, so that looks like the most believable explanation out of those two. The creator of the video even mentions in the comments how relieved they are by finding this information out, and that actually he is one of the nicest people they've ever interacted with, and they still keep in touch. Of course, this is the conclusion I think we'd all prefer. Yvette's bridal shop can be shocking at first glance, but then it becomes eerie and straight up creepy, like exploring an abandoned building with ominous music playing in the background. But to think of it all as some art project for someone to express themselves, especially in a cathartic way, changes that feeling completely. Now it becomes just fascinating, innocent even. But I can't shake off the other comments. The explanation that the owners of the site are true believers of the paranormal and crazier stuff that exists on it. Of course, the other conclusion seems more convincing as it's from someone that spoke with Sean himself, and my disbelief doesn't come from either them or the Reddit comments, but Yvette's. Why are there so many different explanations given from the site owners themselves? Were these exchanged emails being truthful? Is there something more happening under the surface? And since being called out and targeted once, the owners would rather avoid sharing their real story? In the Reddit post mentioned earlier, a commenter actually shared that the backlash against the website bothered them. Yes, they know people don't like their site, and they take offense to being asked about it. And they are crazy, like Time Cube crazy. A lot of the website has changed since the last time I saw it, so they may have removed the alien stuff after being harassed about it. That also is an example of the site having so many changes that I may not even be aware of, as I'm looking at years and years later from its early days. Who knows what was on it 17 years ago, and if there was anything there that proved the point these Reddit users are trying to make, or things that go beyond the insanity that's on there currently. Something that would be worth covering up or getting rid of. But in the case that it is simply an artistic expression, it makes sense that someone may feel like hiding after being criticized so harshly. These speculations feel somewhat endless the further I go into the site, but none of them really add up completely. But by the end of the day, it doesn't seem like there's any foul play here, or anyone being harmed. But that doesn't make the site any less puzzling, mysterious, and at certain points, scary. Rapunzel C88. The internet is full of strange, bizarre, and sometimes outright insane things that should really remain in a private folder on someone's personal computer. People overshare, create creepy videos that are only unsettling, or things that are genuinely terrifying to most people. Users come across this type of content constantly. Subreddits like r/creepy, r/deepweb, and r/internet mysteries are flooded with the strangest, most off-putting things that people can find online. Videos and posts that are buried underneath all the normal things the average person consumes. But sometimes, the creepiest things are actually hiding in plain sight. Welcome to Rapunzel C88, a YouTube channel that, although has 80,000 subscribers and millions of views, feels like something that was found in the deep sea of YouTube. User Central Scowl was the first one to stumble across this and bring attention to it on r/Internet Mysteries. He posted, "So I randomly stumbled across this live stream today. It showed a skinny girl with very long hair sitting on a porch swing at night for what it said was hours. She barely moved at all. In the background, you could hear dogs barking like something was wrong and occasionally people whispering off camera. Really, really unsettling. Unfortunately, my phone refreshed and it seemed to get lost in the algorithm. Weird thing is, I tried to search for it, but with no luck. The name of the user was Rapunzel C88. I hope it was an ARG or some kind of performance. If it was, congrats, cuz it scared the hell out of me. Seriously, what did I just watch? Their unease is not unique to them. The video feels immediately sketchy. I can't really see the girl's face. She's sitting and doing nothing, and everything around is quiet in such an eerie way. That is, until it's not. Hours into the video, that quiet abruptly changes, and it's not just the wind that's heard. That's just the first of the off-putting sounds that are heard in the distance. I'm sure most people heard the whispering, which is of course creepy enough, but that wasn't the only thing that stood out in that minute. When she came back after getting up, not only did her shirt change, but so did her shoes. They were very subtle changes, but changes nonetheless. Maybe that's an unimportant detail, and noticing it is a stretch in theorizing that there's something like foul play at hand here. But it's also at this point in the live stream that the comments start to shift. What were usually simple comments of users saying, "Hi," or "What is she doing?" People now start to actually pay attention. This might actually be messed up. What if this person is being held against their will and forced to do this stuff? They're getting millions of views from these videos. Complete nonsense nonetheless. This comment points out maybe the strangest thing about all of this: how much attention these videos get. That video alone had 1.9 million views. Almost 2 million people watching this random woman doing absolutely nothing. It's absurd. And sure, it could point to this creator doing this for the sole purpose of creating something unsettling in order for it to gain more traction. Or, like the previous commenter said, it's a setup for views, but not one that this girl is consenting to. It's hard not to feel like there's some truth behind that when watching that live stream and the others that are similar. Each one has the same distressing, uneasy feeling about it. Like you're not sure exactly what you're doing, but it feels like at any second, something is going to go wrong and a serial killer is going to jump out from behind the camera and hurt whoever is sitting there motionless. Other videos on the channel aren't so bizarre, but are more so just poorly made sketches of some sort that are supposed to be amusing, I guess.
Oh, no.
They all have that quality, and those cartoonish sound effects that I guess are entertaining for their subscribers, but those don't get nearly as many views as the live streams do. Each one gets millions of people, and each one is just as ominous as the last. The sky behind her is always pitch black. That whispering returns, and she still does nothing other than change her clothes and shoes occasionally. Although there could be reasonable explanations behind it, it's still not something I'd feel relaxed by if it popped up suddenly while I'm scrolling. Like many people say in the comments, she looks like a ghost. But this is a real person, being streamed in real time. And while many viewers watch in enjoyment or even fascination, hopefully the others who are watching with concern aren't correct in their worries. And there's nothing sinister happening behind the scenes of Rapunzel C88. And alright guys, that wraps up some unhinged internet rabbit holes. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please leave a like down below. It really does help so much. And subscribe to the channel. That also helps so much. Please follow my Instagram and follow the Spotify. I appreciate all of the support, and please comment down below your thoughts, and also please like the video. If this video reaches 40,000 likes, I'm going to go talk to Yvette's Bridal and see what they have to say. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. It really does mean the world. And this was Snook, and I'll see you next time. Bye.